So you get a lot of YouTubers saying, "Oh, you can live like a king for 1,000 or under 1,000 a month." I wouldn't say a king, but you can do it, and this is the guy that's proving it on a daily basis. So what kind of food do you eat? I mean, where can you eat three meals a day for $7? What's up? It's JJ the Lonely Bullinasia here in Da Nang, Vietnam at this beautiful coffee shop. I got a special guest with me, Will from Will Travels. I'll post his link below and in the description, but nice to meet you, Will.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you again, actually.
Again.
I was on his live the other night, and he bought me dinner. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I wanted to bring Will on because he's kind of in my mind, he's the expat that knows a lot about living in Vietnam and living in Da Nang, and especially living on a budget. That's kind of your thing, right?
Yeah,
you're the budget
travel
guy. Yeah.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about how that all came about and how your channel came about, and just kind of fill me in on the details on how you decided that niche.
Yeah. So kind of the budget part's always been a part of my life. I'm from the USA. I come from the Bay Area in California, for all you people out there that know the Bay Area, about 30 minutes away from San Francisco, a smaller city called Vallejo, California. And I've always just been a budget guy. I've always liked to get deals on something. I always like to feel that I get something, I get my bang for my buck. Right. So that's always been a part of my life, whether it's been in the USA or traveling or anything like that. So I like to feel like I got more than what I paid for. So I never really traveled until I was 37 years old. So it never was really a thought in my mind. I didn't understand really traveling and anything like that, but it just kind of the opportunity came about where I got tired of living in the USA. Too expensive, too much problems, tired of living the rat race. And I took a quick trip out to Europe. I went there in 2019. And I tried to do like what most people do, especially back then, especially during the prime, cheapest time to ever travel, in my opinion, was back in 2019, before COVID.
Right.
I did a European trip. I went to 9 countries in about 40 days, so very quick. Wow. I loved to quick travel back then. It was cheap. The flights between like Hungary to Italy was like $14 on like Ryanair or EasyJet. Very, very, very cheap.
EasyJet.
It's called EasyJet. That's their budget one. That's like their Spirit of
gotcha.
Europe.
Yeah.
So basically that kind of got my feet wet, and I came back to the USA. That was just a quick little trip. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that was great. I met a friend in Europe that told me, hey, he's going to Asia and that he wanted to go to Asia. And he told me, hey, why don't you come? And I was Asia, when it popped in my mind, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. I can't do. I just went to Europe. Like, no way. I kind of got all the misconceptions. I'm going to go to the jungle. I'm going to go to China. And it's like, the heat kills me. So I was kind of put off about it a little bit.
Right.
But he contacted me and he was like, hey, I'm going to Thailand. So I was just in a point in my life where I didn't have nothing going as far as work because I just got laid off of a job. But luckily at the time, unemployment kicked in. So I said, you know what? This is kind of a perfect opportunity because I'll never get this chance ever again, that I was getting paid and I had the time off. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go take this trip. I ended up doing it, went to 9 countries that year. So in that total country of 2019, this was all the same year. I was in 15 countries.
Wow.
So long story short, I found out how cheap Asia was compared to the USA, compared to California, the Bay Area. And then I was like, man, I need to figure out how in the world I can end up coming back here and doing this long term. Mm-hmm. And I ran into places like the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam. For the first time I came out here in 2019, not Da Nang then, but I did hit up Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, Haiphong, a few other cities. Indonesia, I went to Bali and really enjoyed it. And I was like, man, all I got to do is figure out how to make the money out here. If I can figure out how to make money online, I can live out here for as long as I want to, technically.
Right. Yeah.
So I had that mindset coming back in 2019. COVID happened, shut down for basically 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The lockdowns, the economy, politics in the USA kind of really made me learn from 2020 to 2022. I got to get out of this place. Like, it just wasn't for me in so many aspects. So then I left the USA in 2022, went back. I thought I was going to teach English online because I had my college degree. I had my TESOL, everything. I had all that. Little did I know that market was dying. When I first traveled in 2019, the online market was booming. You can get an online job all the time. Yep. 2022 was different because of COVID. And not only that, but the final nail in the coffin for teaching English online for a platform, China banned online teaching.
Yep.
So that was kind of the final nail in the coffin. So I went through the hard part of 2022 up till the end of 2023. I was out here for a year, no income, just on my savings, and kind of trying to find a job. And I kind of naturally had to be a budget traveler at that point because of that. So my old skills of budgeting back in the USA, because it's just so expensive and I just hate paying for more, came into effect from 2022 to 2023. I would find cheap places. I'd find cheap cities. I would always get bang for my buck. And then I had to go back to the USA. I had to actually go get my college diploma, the physical copy, because I was planning on teaching English again, which never came. But I went back to the USA, came back here after I said, you know what? I can't do the USA anymore. So what I need to do is save up 1 year of cost of living in Vietnam, and I'm going to throw myself in the ocean. I don't have a retirement. I don't have a backup option. I don't have anything. I said, once I get 1 year of Vietnamese cost of living, I'm going out there. And at the time, I only had 350 people, 350 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So it wasn't like I was a big channel. I'm still not even a big channel now. But that wasn't even a thought in my mind. Like, hey, I'm going to go over here and be monetized and start making money. I just said, I'm just tired of it. So that just kind of rolled me into the budget traveling.
So how much did that 1 year Vietnam budget look like?
So shockingly, the most expensive part of it was the European trip. I think I went 50-ish days to 9 countries. That whole trip, including round trip tickets, all the flights, all the Airbnbs, all throughout all the countries, was $3,500 for Europe. Then I went to Asia at the end of that year, September to basically December. 90 days there, 9 countries also, same thing, $3,500. So same cost for each of those, but I did get almost double the length in Asia. And at that point, I knew Asia was the budget traveler's dream.
Okay, but you said your goal was to save 1 year's worth of money for Vietnam. How much was that?
That, I figured my cost of living, the way that I live. So a lot of people are going to see like, oh, this guy, he must live cheap. He must live in a tiny studio or a hostel. He must eat noodles. I don't live like that. In fact, people get on me because I live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1 block from the beach. And my rent alone is $550 for Da Nang, which is pretty pricey for most people out here. But the rest of my budget total is $750. That's with everything, rent, food, transportation, everything. And that's with my girlfriend being here too. So I spend about $750 a month. So I kind of said, if I make if I save up $10,000 with the visa runs and kind of a little bit of spare cash left over, I can do Vietnam, especially Da Nang, for $10,000 or less, basically a year.
So you spend about $750 total a month,
and 70 to 80% of that is my rent. Me and my girlfriend will spend
$550 a month for rent, so that leaves you $200.
$200, and
so that's like $7 a day.
It's $7 a day.
You eat on $7 a day?
Very easy. Now here's where I save my money. I don't drink.
Right.
I don't drink. I don't go to clubs. I don't party. And most of our entertainment is free. So we go to the beach. We go to street markets. We go to the Dragon Bridge. We go hang out at convenience stores. So for you guys who don't understand, Asia is kind of cool. Like imagine going to a 7-Eleven in the USA, but they have tables outside, everything's safe. You buy a drink, you buy these really nice local drinks and you hang out and you people watch. So a lot of our entertainment, 90% of our entertainment is free or very, very affordable. So when you cut out Western food, we still eat Western food once or twice a week. So we don't cut out that 100%. But once you cut out massages, drinking, partying, your budget becomes very, very low. Now, realistically, if I could bump it up a little bit more, I would only kind of add cost by traveling more. So if I traveled more, I would say realistically, my budget would come in right around $900 to $1,000 a month. But we don't really travel too much, which is the one thing that I am looking to do in the future. So $750 now, but if we traveled, maybe $900 to $1,000 would be much more reasonable. And we could downgrade our apartment from a 2-bedroom to 1, which would still put me at the $700 to $900 range.
All right. You get a lot of YouTubers saying, oh, you can live like a king for $1,000 or under $1,000 a month. I wouldn't say a king, but you can do it. And this is the guy that's proving it on a daily basis. So what kind of food do you eat? I mean, where can you eat three meals a day for $7 between the two of you?
This is where we get it. So 90% of the time, we don't eat breakfast. So one, I get up too late. I stay up later, so I don't eat breakfast. If we technically do eat breakfast, I will eat just a piece of toast, an egg, and some rice. So we'll just eat something simple for breakfast. For lunch, we would go typically to like a banh mi. Go get a banh mi, which is like 80 cents here. Or, as we mentioned in the meeting, one of my favorite dishes is called bo nay. And it's basically like a Vietnamese version of steak and eggs. So our big money that we spend on food comes at dinner time. We kind of have a routine. We have 6 or 7 restaurants here that we go to. About 5 nights a week, we will go to a sit-down restaurant, but it's local. So we'll get the local food. I'll get a pork chop and rice. I'll get stir-fried beef with rice and a fried egg. I don't eat seafood. I'm kind of a picky eater. So as long as you have the rice, some kind of beef or chicken or pork, stuff like that. Twice a week, we will kind of treat ourselves. We go to a Thai restaurant once a week, and we go to a place called Bikini Bottoms, which is like a burgers place. Right. So we kind of treat ourselves to a Western place once or twice a week, but we ideally go out to a local restaurant 5 times a week. And we used to cook a lot more, but we realized cooking is almost the same price as eating out here, especially local in Da Nang.
Yeah, I haven't cooked since I've been here. There's really no desire. I go out and eat. Now, I don't eat as cheaply as Will does. I'll go out and splurge. I'll go to Echo Green and have breakfast, and that's about $7 right there with my coffee. So I've blown your budget in one meal. But so have you been to the touristy places here, Bana Hills and Monkey Mountain and places like Marble Mountain?
We've been to a couple. I've not been to Bana Hills yet, partly because the weather has always been bad the time that we have, and Bana Hills is kind of a time where you have to see it clear. Right. You go way up and you got to see it. Partially it is expensive. It's like $60 the last time I checked, and it's me and my girlfriend, so it's a little bit expensive. I've seen enough YouTube videos about it. But we have done things like what I really think is underrated is the 3D museum. They have a really cool 3D museum here. My girlfriend just went to the Monkey Mountain, the Buddha, the Lady Buddha statue. Lady Buddha, and we're actually going to Hoi An. Shockingly, we've lived here on and off for a year and a half, and we've never been to Hoi An. We've been to Dong Hoi, we've been to Hue, we've been to Ho Chi Minh, we've been to Hanoi, but we haven't been to Hoi An, which is only like 30 or 40 minutes away. Right. But we are going to get there
That's a neat
probably
place.
In the next month.
Great French architecture and really neat. So let me ask you about you've been here for a year and a half. How do you run the visas thing? How does that work?
Yes, so I've been on both ends of the visa. So when I first got here, January of 2023, I was here when there was only 30-day visas. So I was having to do a visa run every 30 days back then. But at the time, they didn't have the requirement, or at least they didn't stress the requirement of having to apply and get the new visa while you're out of the country. So what I would do is, back in 2023, I would get on a flight from here in Da Nang, land in Bangkok. So I'd get on the flight about 9 in the morning. I would land around 11 o'clock in Bangkok, go upstairs, go eat at one of our favorite places, 7-Eleven,
Right.
in the Thailand airport, wait for about 3 hours till my next flight, and I would take the flight back here the same day and be back here about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Now, that ended because Vietnam cracked down on doing those same day flights. So what I've done now for the past 3 visa runs is I take a bus. Lin Visa is what I use. There's other ones out there. That's the one that I've used for the past 3 visa runs. And basically you get on a bus at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're back here in Da Nang by 6 o'clock at night. So it is a 12-hour run. It is a lot easier and a lot less stressful than what it sounds. But that's how I've been doing them for the past almost a year now.
Okay, so now it's 90-day visa, and when you come into the country, it's an e-visa. You sign up online, but how does that work if you're doing a one-day visa run? You don't have to do it online then, or how do you do the visa?
The visa agency takes care of it.
They do everything.
They do
for
everything.
You.
So it's all in. All you literally, the hardest part is getting up in the morning and getting on the seat. Once you do that, everything, they basically hold your hand. So the fee that they charge includes the Lao visa run, or the Lao the visa stamp,
or, yeah.
the Vietnam visa stamp, and your transportation. And they fill out your visa. So there's nothing you have to do.
And it's a 90-day
single
entry?
You could do either one. I always do the single entry. There's not too many people that actually need the multiple entry. So I always get the single entry.
And what does that cost all in?
It's right around 160, 165 bucks.
Okay, US.
US.
Okay. So, and how many times can you do that?
Unlimited. So hopefully no one kind of watches these videos and wants to change it. But I've known people that I've been on the bus with that have been doing it for years. And it's not like Thailand. Thailand, the immigration kind of gives you problems.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of anyone here doing it for multiple years. No one's ran into a problem. Besides, if they've overstayed for the 90 days, then they'll get some problems. But if you guys get out of the country in time, no issues. I've never heard anybody have any problems.
Okay. That's good. So what's your plan then moving forward?
That is a good question because we are kind of on the brink of possibly, I want to do a little bit more travel. I just went out last week that I mentioned, went to 2 different cities, and I enjoy traveling. So our debate is, are we going to downgrade and maybe go to a 1-bedroom here and maybe possibly travel to another city like 1 time a month? Or we're kind of debating moving out of our place and taking 2 or 3 months out of Da Nang and taking the Vietnam Railways train and kind of going and checking out 5 or 6 different cities down south and just kind of shooting some YouTube videos down there, kind of traveling. So I'm kind of stuck at that point, and I'm 50-50. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I think one of those 2 is going to be the option. You have to, I guess, wait it out and see.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about your channel. Tell me what's your niche? What do you do on that? What's your plans moving forward on that?
So my channel is called Will Travels with a Z. Someone stole it from me that has Will Travels, and I kind of check it, and he never uploads anything. I wish he wouldn't have taken it and not used it, but it's called Will Travels with a Z. Like I said, I primarily am a travel channel, ideally with a niche focus on budget travel. Once the channel grows a little bit more, we will start traveling more and maybe break away from the budgeting a little bit. But like I said, no matter what, I'm always going to have that budgeting aspect. Maybe not the lowest budget or an extreme budget, but there's always going to be a bang for your buck aspect to my channel. But my ultimate goal is to go to 100 countries. I've only been to 20 now. My extreme ultimate goal would be to go to every single country, like Drew Binsky, a guy that I really like and want to kind of accomplish his goals. So maybe that'll be a goal down in the future. But as of now, it's to basically travel around, document my journey, show you guys kind of the way to navigate and not really overspend, but at the same time not live in a hostel and eat cup of noodles, but to get your bang for your buck. Like a lot of people that I run into, they'll see my apartment, go like, wow, man, I can't believe you live here. Or they'll see the restaurants, they're like, man, the food is good. Like, I can't believe you live this cheap on this. And I say, this is how I like to live. I like to feel like I get more bang for my buck. So that's kind of what the channel kind of focuses on, is like, hey, follow my style and I'll give you some tips and you guys can live the same way. And maybe if you guys have a higher budget or a lower budget, just use my tips and adjust them lower or a little bit higher. Instead of not going to the pizza place, maybe go to the pizza place that I tell you is a little too expensive and live the same.
You can get I mean, if you don't have a family or a girlfriend and you don't need a 2-bedroom, you can get a 1-bedroom in the same area, minutes from the beach, for $250, $300. So you're saving another $200 there. So instead of $7 a day for food,
you can bump it up to
you can bump
$12
it up to $12 a day. You're living high and mighty then.
Exactly.
Well, check out his channel, Will Travels, and do me a favor, subscribe to his channel. I want to help him out here. He's got I mean, it's starting to grow pretty fast now, right?
I'm approaching 5,000. We're a few hundred away from 5,000. So
that's awesome. Hopefully
we'll hit a couple of milestones this year. And hopefully I'll run into some of you guys out here and give you guys some tips on Da Nang.
Yeah, Vietnam's a beautiful place to visit. Super cheap. It's probably, of the 3 countries I lived in, either Thailand, Vietnam, or the Philippines in Manila.
Yep.
This is the cheapest of the 3 by far. Prices seem to be going up a little bit, but not to the extent they are in Manila or
rent,
or
especially.
in Thailand. Yeah.
A lot of the other stuff is not really going up, in my opinion, but it's the rent. It's the tourist.
Yeah, but you got to look around and you'll find great deals. And even though the rent's still going up, you can still find really good deals, and it's still not as high as Thailand or Manila, Metro Manila. So, but do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe here. Put in the comments below what you think about Vietnam, and make sure you subscribe to Will's channel. And we'll see you around. And as always, live life, my friend. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Happy travels.